good afternoon. You're watching Market Fatafat on ET now. I'm Vinny Motiwala, with me Cheryl D'Souza as well. Cheryl, a very good afternoon to you. And markets surely opened up on a very strong footing. But now, given up those highs that we're seeing, 24,300, that's what it's managing to hold on to.
Absolutely. The markets are holding on to a shade of green is what we should take solace into, because that's not the same picture that we're seeing for Nifty Bank, because that one is in the negative territory. HDFC Bank today not supporting, and in fact HDFC Bank is also in the negative territory. So yes, broader markets are also trying to keep their shade of green on, but let's see where we head towards the closing. 2 more hours of trading session left, Vinny.
Absolutely, we'll keep an eye out on that. But with that, let's get started with all the stocks that have been buzzing in trade on the back of news flows and on technicals. And on the technicals, we're joined by Dhwani Patel, while from the research team, we have Gaurav as well as Jinay joining in with us. A very good afternoon to all three of y'all as well. And let me start with the first stock as always. We're going to talk about ITD Cementation at stock number 1. Why is the stock in focus? Today the stock saw a bit of a fall coming in when you see in trade, a sharp fall actually. It's as of now also trading almost near the day's lowest point, down almost 10% in trade. What happened here is that the company last evening in a notice announced on the BSE that its promoter, that is Italian Thai Development Public Company, is exploring a potential divestment of its stake in the company. However, there is no concrete decision that has been made as of now. But yes, they may be looking at it. And as of the March quarter, when you look at it, the promoters of ITD Cementation had around 46.64% stake in the company. And the current market price, when you're looking at it, obviously, we've seen that fall coming in there. So let's keep an eye out on ITD Cementation. Today, it's down almost 10%. But let's not forget, in the last 12 months, this one has already seen a very sharp surge coming in. So yes, this news coming in is something that we're seeing a bit of a correction here today.
All right, so that is ITD Cementation that is under pressure in trade today. But PVR Inox, Dhwani, how are the charts looking for this one? Do you think that the breakout is likely imminent or already in the works?
Yes, the PVR Inox definitely is looking positive over here. What we're seeing that the stock had already made a bottom over here on the bottom side around 1280 levels, post which we have seen the reversal coming in. The breakout that we have seen over here in the stock is around 1440 levels, and it's staying over there. We are sustaining over there as the support levels. Even the 200 DMA has crossed on the higher side. The price action is on the bullish front over here. Volume increment is also picking up in this particular counter, and on the momentum side as well. Technically, the indicators are turning positive. So from current level, definitely you need to buy on PVR Inox for a target on the higher side initially of 1565. Once 1565 crosses, then we are looking up at a higher side of 1660 as well, positionally in this counter. Stop loss being over there on the lower side at 1420.
All right, let's shift focus and let's talk about Inox Wind, and this particular counter is surging in trade today, and that's because they've informed the exchanges that the completion of the infusion of about 900 crore rupees into the company by its promoter Inox Wind Energy. This is as per the filings, and they said that the funds were raised by Inox Wind Energy on May 28th by selling Inox Wind shares through the block deals on the stock exchanges, and Inox Wind will now utilize the funds to completely pay down their debt in external term debt and become net debt free. What they're saying is that we expect substantial savings in the interest expenses going ahead, aiding the profitability further, and with all the building blocks in place, it will be their execution capacity, state-of-the-art technology offerings, as well as financial strength and robust order book and large order pipeline that they're geared to embark on a substantial growth journey ahead. This is what Inox Wind CEO mentioned in the stock exchange filing. So on back of the fact that the capital infusion coming in from the promoter that will help the company get net debt free, you have Inox Wind that's surging in trade 11% higher right now.
Okay, let's move on to a stock, and this is among the top F&O losers today. Gaurav, Bandhan Bank came out with its Q1 update. What is it looking like?
About the Q1 updates, actually bank reported strong set of numbers when we talk about advances growth. Advances increased almost by 22% on a YY basis and even 0.7% on a sequential basis. Now, it is worth noting that for the last 3 years, Q1 has been very soft for Bandhan Bank, and this sequential increase in advances is actually a positive thing. But when we talk about deposits, there also we saw some growth around 22% on a YY basis. But these deposits, I mean, those were led by bulk deposits. Second, what happened in deposits is that the CASA has actually declined. When we even talk about CASA ratio, that has gone down almost by 370 basis points on a sequential basis. This is something that we need to look at when the management comes up with the commentary. Apart from that, there are other factors which are playing out for the bank. So first we have is asset quality. We saw collection efficiency in microfinance loan for the bank gone down almost by 50 basis on a quarter-on-quarter basis. There are other factors as well, like CGFMU claims is going to be a near-term catalyst. And apart from that, we also saw RBI recently hired additional director. And on back of this news, if we look at bank's performance also, it is down 2%. But yeah, specifically talking about the Q1 results, advances were strong, but in deposits we will have to look at when the detailed report comes from Bandhan Bank.
All right, so that is all about Bandhan Bank. Let's talk about RCF then. Dhwani, how is this one looking on the charts to you right now?
We've definitely seen a certain rally in the fertilizer stocks already, and there was a small correction also that was there into these particular counters. RCF also was one of the counters where we saw a strong rally coming in when the stock crossed above its 200 EMA and sustained above the same. About 138 was the buy point of this, and it sustained till 220 levels, post which we saw a certain dip coming in this particular counter, which is a buy on dips opportunity over here, because the same level is a point of polarity technically over here, and from current level I'm expecting the momentum to continue back on the upside again with a stop loss on the lower side at 192. One should hold on for a target on the higher side of 240.
Okay, surely keeping an eye out on the target price over there for RCF. Let's move on, and Indogene is the stock that you've picked out for us, Jinay. Right now it's trading with a cut of almost 1%, but what is the news flow here?
Actually, it's in focus on the back of brokerage notes. So Citi have initiated a sell rating on the company with the target price of rupees 510. Well, actually, they are very positive on the company. What they say is they're expecting a company to benefit from accelerated digitalization of life science industries, and also Citi is constructive on the business and they like the strong management team, especially because of their robust domain expertise. But what their concern is about valuations. What they say is the current valuations of the company seems expensive and have already priced in all the positives of the business, and that is why they have come up with a sell rating on the company.
Okay, surely keeping an eye out on that one, but let's move on and talk about all the cement stocks that have been in focus today. Any of the cement names that you pick out today, we are keeping an eye out on these names. Now, Ambuja Cement, whether you look at it, Ramco Cement, all of them in focus. Why? What is the news flow that we have today is that according to dealer checks and according to agencies, what we understand is that the cement companies have cut prices by 10 to 15 rupees per 50 kgs in Andhra Pradesh. In Telangana also a similar cut that has come in by these cement companies. So yes, cement companies have cut these prices. Why? Because in terms of the demand, they don't find the demand quite exciting. Weak demand in Andhra as well as Telangana, the main reason that the price cut is coming in. Also, sometime back we did have the Jeffrey Cement channel check which came in where they said the price dipped again in June as well by 1 to 1.5% on a month-on-month basis. Industry volumes, that is something that is starting to now see slight bit of a recovery. So yes, keeping an eye out on the cement pack today. Some bit of a pressure that is coming in all these cement names today.
All right, that is all about the cement counters. But Laurus Labs, Dhwani, how is this one looking on the charts to you? Sharp up move is what is logging in trade today. But what are the technical charts telling you right now?
On the technical side, we are seeing a strong buy coming in on Laurus Labs. What we are observing over here chartically on the daily structure is that the stock is trading above its important moving averages. We've seen an RSI crossover happening, and what is noteworthy is more that the ADX, which is the momentum indicator, is crossing above 25, which says that it's a perfect time to get in for a momentum trade in this particular counter. On a weekly chart as well, what we are seeing is the stock had maintained a sideways moment, and now it's giving a breakout above the same. From current levels, one can go long into it for a target on the short-term basis of 490 to 500, keeping a stop loss on the lower side at 445.
Keeping an eye on that level over there for Laurus Labs. But on that note, we're going to slip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. After the break, we'll be back with more stocks that are in focus.
Welcome back. You're watching Market Fatafat on ET now, and let's continue with the stocks then. And Gaurav, LNT Finance, why is this stock in focus today?
Finance is yet another counter where we have seen Q1 updates coming up, and if you look at the Q1 updates, they were pretty good. And if we compare it with the consensus, because when we talk about retail disbursements, that increased almost by 33% on a YY basis. AUM increased almost by 31% on a YY basis. Even when we talk about microfinance and urban retail disbursement, that actually led this growth, while we saw a little bit of weakness in SME segment. And on back of this, we also saw brokerages reiterating their buy stance. So UBS maintained their buy rating with a target price of 230 rupees. When we talk about Citi, they also maintained their buy rating with a target price of 221 rupees, because what they believe is that retail disbursements and AUM growth actually sustain even on a sequential basis despite seasonality in this business. And share of retail AUM has improved to 95%, which is again good for LNT Finance. And lastly, Citi also believes that consolidated ROA and ROE can actually improve again on a sequential basis. But if you look at the stock performance, it actually opened with 4% gains. Now it has given up all the gains, and as we speak, it is trading at a flat price. Yeah.
Okay, surely keeping an eye out on LNT Finance, given up those morning gains that we saw coming in. But what is holding on to gains today and holding on to that momentum is Zydus Life, Dhwani. When you look at it, surely has picked up pace in the last 1 month. When you're looking at it in terms of a move, last 6 months also we're seeing some bit of an uptick, actually 60% uptick in the last 6 months as well. What's the word now on Zydus Life?
Zydus Life, if you look up at a lifetime chart also of this particular counter, it's never disappointed. It's always been on the upside over here. You look at the weekly chart, it's a straight parabolic 45-degree line that you'll see it moving in the higher direction. So every time you look up at the opportunities to get into this particular counter and hold it for a period of short term to medium term over here. So it's the right time to get into this particular counter now again. For the reason being that on daily charts, we are seeing the RSI crossing above 70, which is again a bullish sign of entry into this particular counter, and as well as the momentum indicator of ADX is crossing from the bottom to the top now, crossing about 20 levels, which is again a sign of momentum. So again, the momentum is here to build in this particular counter. From current levels, one can go long into it. On the short term basis, we are looking up at a target of 1175. But once this level crosses, we'll be seeing further bullish action coming in this particular counter. It's suggestive to keep it as one of the stocks into your portfolio on the lower side with a trailing stop loss strategy. For current trade, the stop loss for one would come at 1075.
Alright, so that's the take coming in on Zydus Life. The entire farmer pack actually soaring in trade. But Junaid, let's talk about Indian hotels, because this one is no less. This one also is a buzz in trade today.
Well, yes, so Philip Capital have actually initiated a buying rating on the Indian hotels with a target price of rupees 600. What they say is that company is very well positioned to serve the wave of high demand and occupancy, which will lead into positive structural shift in its revenue per room. Now also they're expecting its existing portfolio to drive the higher operating leverage. Also, if you look at company's incremental focus on its asset-light expansion through its well management contracts, that will bring in further resilience to the company's operations. Now, also companies diversifying with the focus on growth plans for ancillary services such as Emma Stays, The Chambers, which is the exclusive business club, and Taj Sets, which is their catering business. So overall, a positive note coming on Indian hotels by Philip Capital. And if you look at the stock is trading up with the gains of about 2%.
Okay, surely keeping an eye out on Indian hotels. Let's move on and talk about Marico as well as Kaya. We're keeping an eye out on both these stocks today. Kaya actually managed to, was locked in the upper circuit the last time I checked as well. Even as of now, since the get-go, it's locked in that upper circuit. Marico just a slight bit of a flattish move is what we're seeing. But why are we keeping an eye out on both these stocks? Now, Marico and Kaya have announced that they will be collaborating, and Marico will be exclusively handling the sales and marketing of Kaya's range of 75 efficacy science-based personal care products, which is outside of Kaya's clinic. Now, the collaboration will help them leverage in terms of the established expertise, capabilities of both the companies, and unlock the untapped growth potential of the brand by enhancing its presence as well as accessibility to across different markets and channels as well. And that's the word came in terms of press release yesterday from both the companies. So yes, we'll surely be keeping an eye out on both these stocks. Kaya Limited holding on to that upper circuit mark. 499 is what it's trading at.
Alright, so that's why you have Marico as well as Sky in focus. Sky particularly in focus, soaring away in trade today. Rather, locks and opposite over 10%. But Dhwani, what's your take coming in on rights? How is this one looking on the charts to you now? Good run, 42% in the last 6 months or so. Do you see scope of upside after a consolidation that it's been through?
Yes, absolutely. That what we are seeing over here chartically on a daily structure is that the stock is here to break a downward sloping trend line on the higher side. So it's a breakout stock that is coming in on radar and technically over here. What we are seeing also is the increment of the volume, which is noteworthy for today's session, which we are seeing that almost 5x of average 20 days volume is what we are seeing in this particular counter. From current levels, one can go long into rights again for a target on the higher side at 800. Once 800 crosses, we'll be seeing further momentum building up on the higher side in this counter. Stop loss that one needs to maintain over here is on the lower side of 700.
Right, let's talk about Surra Estates. And this particular counter has been soaring off late quite a bit actually, in fact, and the reason being is that you have Nuvama that's come out with a note on the company where they have actually gone ahead and initiated coverage with a buy rating, and also they've said that they've set a target of around 757 rupees per share, which in fact converts to the stock at valuing it at around 1.4 times the FY26 estimate NAV. What Nuvama is actually stating is that the company actually has seen strong redevelopment capabilities. It has healthy development pipeline as well as a well-located land bank drive. That's why that's driven the confidence in the long-term growth story of the company. Nuvama is saying that they are optimistic as well as on this structurally buoyant home market as well. Remember that Surra Estate has about 13 to 18 ongoing and upcoming projects with an inventory or saleable size of around 0.12 million square feet. Also, it has land reserves of about 2.6 acres that will be used for future development. And a lot of positive news flows actually have been coming for Surra Estates over this last 1 week, and that's one of the reasons why the stock is seeing a good up move in trade today.
Okay, on that note, we're going to slip into a very short break, halfway down, a lot more stocks to go after this as well, so don't go anywhere.